So this question is coming from May June 2018, paper 3 variant 3, and this is the fifth question of the paper. The first part of the question is asking to first expand this term, or maybe otherwise we have to prove this equation. So I always like to use the hints given to me in the question rather than thinking something completely by myself. So I'll start with this hint that I have to expand this first, and at the end, after expanding, I need to think about how can I get this equation. So let me start by writing cos square x plus sine square x the whole cube. Now, how can you expand it? There are multiple ways in which you would like to expand it. I would like to expand this using the binomial equation. I mean the binomial formula that you have learned in your AS level. So 3c0 is 1, sine square x 0 is 1, sine square x cube is sine to the power of 6x. Then the next term will be 3c1 is 3, then cos square x to the power of 1 is cos square x, and then sine square x to the power of 3 minus 1, which is 2. So it will be sine to the power of 4x. Then 3c2 is also 3. Now cos square x will have power of 2, so it will become cos power of 4x. And then 3 minus 2 will be 1, so sine square x. And lastly, 3c3 is 1, cos to the power of 2x whole to the power of 3 will be cos to the power of 6x multiplied by sine square x to the power of 3 minus 3, which is 0. I mean, power is 0, so the value is 1. So this is the expansion. Okay, I've used 1, 3, 3, 1 Pascal triangle. This is 3c0, 3c1, 3c2, 3c3. This is how I'm getting the coefficients of 1, 3, 3, 1. And then I'm applying the normal thing that you've learned in your AS level using the binomial formula. Okay. Now, once I'm having this, what I can do is, because this equation is having 1 involved, and then cos power of 6x and sine power of 6x involved, I can say that sine power of 6x and the cos power of 6x is on the right hand side. On the left hand side, I know that there is sine square x plus cos square x, which is equal to 1, and 1 to the power of 3 will be equal to 1. So just because I know that this term is not there in the equation, but 1 is there, I can substitute this entire equation to 1. So this is 1 equal to everything on the right hand side. I'll try to club the cos power of 6x and sine power of 6x over here. So cos power of 6x plus sine power of 6x. And then I'm having 3 cos square x sine 4x and 3 cos 4x sine square x. So in this case, what I'll do is I'll try to make some of the things common. So I'll take 3 cos square x and sine square x as a common, as both of it is present in the terms. So 3 cos square x sine square x. And if I multiply this term with the sine square x, I'll get the first term. And then if I multiply this entire thing with the cos square x, I'll get the second term over here. Clearly, I can see that this is equal to 1. I can move on to the next step. I can keep this on one side as they want that on one side. Cos power of 6x plus sine power of 6x is equal to, I'll take 1 on the other side and shift this to the other side, which is minus 3 sine square x cos square x. Now, if you're aware about the double angle formula of the sine 2x, because we also want sine 2x into the equation, I can think about how can I convert sine square x cos square x into the format of sine 2x, or I should say sine square of 2x. So I'll just try to create the extra space over here for me to explain this to you. How can I do this? You can also do this in your rough space in the examination. I know that, let me use another color. I know that sine 2x is 2 sine x cos x. So what will be sine square 2x? It will become 4 sine square x cos square x. Now over here, if I want sine square x cos square x as the subject of formula, what can I do? I know that my sine square x cos square x will be equal to 1/4 of sine square 2x. So from here, I got the relationship. And in place of the sine square x cos square x, I can put sine square 2x over 4. So I believe that we will be getting something like this. So let's go ahead and try to check this. So I'll just say that therefore cos power of 6x plus sine power of 6x is equal to 1 minus 3 by 4. The divided by 4 is coming from here, and then in place of this I'm having sine square 2x. So as you can see that I have already got the format that I was looking forward to. So what is the trick you need to play over here with your brain? The trick that you need to play is that how can I go ahead and bring the sine 2x term from this term. I know that sine 2x is related to the sine x cos x, and then the square of it is related to the sine square 2x. So yeah, you can utilize the formula, make whatever is the subject of formula, and you can substitute it just like what we had done also in the previous question. So over here, this is becoming my final answer for this part. And I have proved the equation by first expanding by this thing, then putting this thing as 1 because in the final equation we didn't had anything like this. So we substituted this to 1. And then we kept on solving ahead and we eventually got to the format that we wanted. Moving on to the second part of this question. I should have drawn this box a bit like this, but it's fine. Now we have to solve this equation. Of course, this is coming from your AS level, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time over here. I'll just tell you that what is the way through which you can manipulate. And then maybe, of course, if you want, you can use the ASTC diagram or whatever tricks that you've learned in your AS level. So yeah, I want to solve the cos x to the power of 6 and sin x to the power of 6 equal to 2 by 3. Of course, I need to utilize this equation. Whenever they use the word hence, it means that we need to use something from your previous part. So yeah, I know that my cos power of 6x plus sine power of 6x is equal to this entire thing. So 1 minus 3 over 4 sine square 2x is equals to 2 by 3. And the domain given to me is 0 to 180 degrees. So over here I can make sine square 2x first of all the subject of formula. And this is by doing 1 minus 2 by 3. And whatever answer I get will be into 4 by 3. So let me do this in the calci. So 1 minus 2 by 3 and multiply this with 4, divide this with 3. So 4 by 9 is what I'm getting. Of course, you can take your time, solve this, and you will eventually get this. And at the end, what you can do is you can say that I can take the under root on both the sides, and I'll get plus and minus of the right hand side. So either my sine 2x is equals to square root of 4 is 2, square root of 9 is 3. So either it is 2 by 3 or sine 2x is equals to minus 2 by 3. Now we are having the domain of 0 to 180, but now you are having double angle, so your domain will be double. Basically, you're using the same thing that I've taught to you in the previous video. So you can surely go ahead and try this. And I'll tell you what is the final answer you must get if you're not getting those answers. Of course, you can leave your doubt in the comment. I'll get back to you. But I really want you to try this by yourself after this point because it's just your ASTC diagram with the double angle. So convert this into 0 to 360, find all the values in between 0 to 360, and then divide all the answers by 2 to get the value of x. That is the approach that you can take. So the answer for this question, with respect to this, you will get 20.9, 69.1. And with respect to this, you will get 110.9, 159.1 degrees. Of course, don't forget to give your final answers correct only one decimal place because you are dealing with degrees. So yeah, we are done with this question.